hearings, he had that expression when McCarthy was especially reckless in terms of trying to destroy the reputation of a young man.
Roy Cohn, there's a good article, there's a good op-ed this week in the New York Times by a woman named Michelle Goldberg, who talks about the upcoming documentary. And I mean, I don't believe she says this, but the title alone is enough to tell you what's going on with this. It's Where's My Roy Cohn is explaining, as Michelle says, that this is how we got Trump. We got Trump by having people respect and learn from the example of a pit bull like Roy Cohn, the win at all costs type, the kind of guy who says, I'm going to destroy lives to win in the arena of politics. Yeah. And the defining characteristic that I believe it's Michelle Goldberg who said this, is where I got it, is she said that Cohn delighted in being the kind of person who didn't have to play by the rules that governed other weaker people.
He was totally into power. He didn't mind if he broke the rules and broke people's reputations. I will say, as I've said a bunch of times on this show, and I know I sound like some sort of a Trump apologist, but when you step back and look at the whole canvas and all the mosaic of the participants, I don't know that Trump's much different from the Kennedys, who had their pit bull lawyers who would win at any cost, who would cover up,
Well, Bobby Kennedy was also
Johnson.
Bobby Kennedy was also on the House on was it the House on American?
No, he was affiliated, I think, with the Senate side where McCarthy was. But you're right, Bobby Kennedy was on Joe McCarthy's side there. But the point is, these guys get in a position of power where they want lawyers who are willing to do anything. I mean, I have talked to a lawyer at a big corporate firm. I'm not going to mention his name or his firm, but he told me that about 15 years ago, Trump and his people swoop in and they want to do some big real estate deal in Los Angeles, and they're all in a big conference room, and Trump is saying, I want you to do X, and X was illegal. And so my friend said, no, I can't do that. Well, guess who was off the team? Guess who was fired from it? So this is how Trump operates. It's how a lot of powerful people operate. So, go out and see the movie. But I think it's a pivotal point. The McCarthy era, I think, was at the conclusion of the apex of American power and influence. I mean, we had just, for 175 years, gathered strength and power to the point where we were in a position to save the world from monsters like Hitler and Mussolini and the Emperor of Japan. And then suddenly, within months, the Cold War coalesces, the bad guys get the H-bomb, and we're dragged into Korea, and we're in the McCarthy era, and we're in Vietnam, and we're in Watergate, and we're in 9/11. And so it's been kind of downhill. And now the society is so fragmented into this tribalism, because at least in the 50s and the 40s and 60s, we were homogenized in the sense that everybody shared the same pop culture, whether it was radio or television or movies. And now everybody's got their own screen, and we are just so fragmented.
Balkanized.
Totally balkanized, and demagogues are exploiting it, whether it is on the left or on the right. They're trying to reach to groups and say, the other are bad, they're evil, come to me, cling to me, and I will save you, and we're just totally balkanized. And that was the pivot point. The McCarthy era with Roy Cohn achieving his fame because he was a brilliant lawyer. He allegedly had secret, ex-party, impermissible communications with the Rosenberg's judge. He would call up the judge for Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. He was part of the prosecution team urging a death sentence, and he got it. Now, I don't know if that's really what happened, but that's the speculation.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, so the Roy Cohn movie should be interesting. The other news item I wanted to mention before we get to the whether or not Trump's going down because of the Ukraine is Leslie Van Houten has been turned down for the third or fourth time for parole. She, of course, is part of the Manson family. I'm guessing that the justices of the Court of Appeal who turned her down, maybe they went to see Once Upon a Time
in Hollywood.
That was probably it.
And that might have influenced
Now, my daughter still hasn't. We can't. I don't know if you how deeply you want to get. My daughter's seeing it tonight. So
also, several other members of the audience may not have yet seen it. But
so we won't talk about the special ending of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You could wait for the 4.5-hour version of it that Tarantino's coming out with on Netflix.
Yeah, and whatever it is, when you see the film, go even stay way past the ending, the special ending to the end of the credits.
Kind of a blooper.
The end of the credits.
All right, before we get to the Ukraine, before we went on the air, Ken Jeffries, I didn't realize you'd met this famous person, Bill Maher. You've actually met Bill Maher in the
Well, I think we locked eyes for like about 10 seconds, but
I never. Sounds romantic.
No, I never.
Was there a tingle up your leg?
No, nothing tingled.
Okay.
No.
Nothing tingled on your part. You don't know how Bill Maher felt about
what happened.
KFWB anchor Ken Jeffries in his presence,
and he wouldn't know it either because at that time he wasn't. He was getting to be famous, I guess. No, I did this was about 15 years ago, maybe more.
Yeah.
I was answering phones on this pet telethon chaired by Betty White. I was the announcer on the telethon for several years for SPCA LA, and so we were backstage, I think, at the El Capitan Theater where the show emanated from at that year. And he was there, and I just happened to see him, and that was it.
We've all had kind of
unusual little
gigs. I don't know if I told you about that. I had a summer job once. I was at the airport. The white zone is for loading and unloading only, no parking guy. You didn't know about this?
I had no idea.
Okay. The union was so strong, you'd think it would be on the tape, but they actually insisted that a human being. So
no way.
For a summer between the junior and senior year in college, I was at the airport, and I'd just sit there every 15 seconds. The white zone is for loading and unloading only.
So is your voice on the movie Airport?
I don't know.
Remember Airport with Howard?
Isn't that remarkable?
You and Howard Jarvis.
It's so crazy. I mean, I would get recognized. I'd go into a liquor store. Are you the White Zone guy? And they'd give me a beer. And I got fired because I got so bored. You're supposed to do it every 15 seconds. I did it every 20 seconds, and the boss figured it out and fired me.
Is this a joke?
What are you talking about as a joke? It's a summer job. The unions are incredibly powerful.
That's amazing.
All right, I made the whole thing.
Especially when you said, look, MFers.
I can't believe I fell for that.
Look, you MFers, you park, and you got disgusted, right?
I can't believe I fell for that.
Yeah, you really did that job.
Okay, so
I kind of made fell for that.
Let's talk about.
I can never tell when you're kidding. This is what I hate about.
I'm the most gullible man alive.
Let's talk about the Ukraine.
I have been getting fooled by this human over here.
And this is your father. You can't tell if your father's telling you a joke.
Usually, I'm so good at it.
I think that the Ukraine is a real threat to Trump, and here's why.
Okay.
When he speaks to
what a segue.
Another president, I think they're recorded. Yes.
I'm sorry. We just did the segue.
Don't they record or at least have a transcript of the conversation?
I don't know. Right. Now, and of course, Trump said, I did nothing wrong, and all that. But is there a recording? Who knows what's going on?
Okay, so
but if he's saying to the president, you're not going to get your $250 million unless you trash Joe Biden's son.
Well, reportedly he didn't.
Reportedly, like a violation.
Allegedly, he didn't say it.
Oh, well,
allegedly
he didn't say it.
But he might have said, look at you more kindly down the road.
For the last 2 years, all he's done is apologize for Donald Trump.
So what we do know.
That's me.
What we do know is that we have the whistleblower complaint.
Right.
And the whistleblower complaint got escalated to, I can't remember the name of the official body.
Well, the Inspector General, when he receives a whistleblower complaint, he decides if it's credible and serious, he passes it on to the Director of National Intelligence, who then may have to pass it on to the Congress. And apparently,
I think by law
he did pass it on because he thought it was serious and credible. But the director, who's a Trump appointee, is saying, I don't think that anybody under our jurisdiction was involved.
Exactly.
Maybe not the president.
I think this gentleman, and I forgot his name, is supposed to testify in open session next week.
This week, before two
this coming week.
Oversight committees.
So it should, and maybe on television.
Yeah.
If I would presume.
But it's probably going to be so secret and confidential that maybe the first go-around, maybe they'll do it behind closed doors. I don't know. Yeah, you were going to add to your comment, I think, about...
Well, I was just going to say, I'd be worried that testimony is going to turn into another Corey Lewandowski, where the Trump appointee who's testifying just says, well, the president has instructed me on the basis of executive privilege not to say anything.
That's exactly what Trump's people are saying.
And
executive privilege applies.
Everyone's going to say, but that's not presidential blah, blah.
And Jerry Nadler would be going, hamana.
Right, exactly. Like, and that's the problem, is you've got a guy like Corey Lewandowski, who was the most extreme example, who's most obviously never worked for the executive branch, was never an employee of the White House, and then he goes up there and says, well, executive privilege.
It may be faulty, but let's remember, this is about Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, being on the board of a gas company there in the Ukraine and allegedly doing something illegal. The prosecutor in Ukraine was going to go after Hunter, and they wanted to get rid of the prosecutor and get him fired. That's the scandal.
Yeah, well, no, that's not the scandal. The scandal is Trump trying to...
That's the alleged scandal. But here, answer this for me.
Yeah.
What if it were flipped? What if a Democrat president called a fellow president and said, you know what, Donald Trump Jr. is breaking the law. I'd like you to look into it.
2 weeks.
You tell me how Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer would feel about that. I think they would say, hallelujah, Donald Jr. should go to prison. Of course presidents can talk to each other about important things. Now, if any of you disagree with me on that, you're free to express a contrary view when we return on the Royal Oak Show. Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
Savor the past and savor the glory days of Las Vegas. Enjoy 70 years of true Las Vegas history as 4 generations of family wait to greet you at the legendary Bootlegger Italian Bistro. Wine, dine, and experience Mama Maria's award-winning original recipes while surrounded by original family photos and celebrity memorabilia. Enjoy piano artistry nightly with music from the Great American Songbook in our main formal dining room. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 24/7, 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard South, in the entertainment capital of the world. It's Vegas, baby.
This is the entertainment answer. Who is in the mood for some Marsha, and the rest of the Brady Bunch? Well, HGTV is restoring the Brady House to its original 70s glory and reuniting the original cast.
Oh, it's kind of a kicking blast.
The sitcom was a TV touchstone for millions, including myself. HGTV.com has tons of fun Brady games, trivia, and behind-the-scenes features. We are already a couple of episodes in, but you definitely have time to catch up. For more information, jump over to theentertainmentanswer.com.
Attention sports fans, now you can watch every football game you want all season long without leaving your home with Dish for about $50 a month. Compared to your cable bill, you can save almost $600 a year. Call right now and sign up for Dish and watch every football game you want. With Dish, there are no boxes to pay, plus get free installation as soon as tomorrow if you call now. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch your favorite sports and channels on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. Be one of the first 100 orders right now and get a free voice remote. Don't miss a single football game all year long and save a ton of money. Get a free voice remote and free installation as soon as tomorrow. But you gotta call All American Dish right now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Come to regenerativemedicalassociates.com and visit our online store. You'll find products to help with orthopedics, podiatry, aesthetics, and so much more. Our facility is FDA inspected with approved treatment for the United States Veterans Association. Visit our website at www.regenerativemedicalassociates.com. That's regenerative, REGENERATIVE, medicalassociates.com.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries and our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So we've been talking about Donald Trump and the Ukraine, and I was saying, well, gee, it sounds pretty bad conniving with a foreign leader, or maybe kind of blackmailing him. You're not going to get your $250 million unless you go after Biden. But I got to think that if it were a Democrat president calling up another president and saying, hey, Don Jr. Committed a felony, I want you to take him down, I think Democrats would love it, and they would mind. So is that a double standard?
I'll say this. You're right. There are many partisan Democrats who would do anything to take down Trump. But I will also say that this is not like looking over and saying, I'm a Democratic president who wants to investigate Don Jr. for having committed felonies. This is the President of the United States threatening to withhold hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid.
We don't know that yet.
True, but that's
we're not there yet.
Might be true. We don't know. The allegation is that he's threatening to withhold hundreds of millions of dollars in military aid to the Ukraine, which theoretically has a purpose. We're doing that for a reason. That's good for national security, right? That's important, right? We need to give that money to Ukraine for a reason. Maybe it's to hold back Russia. Maybe it's to stop some other thing. Who knows? But there's a reason that we're doing it. And Trump is saying, I want you to do something, or else you lose out on this thing. So he's saying, I will hurt America's interests unless you do X. And guess what X is? It's revive a dead investigation into whether Joe Biden had some ulterior motive for, as the vice president under Obama, urging Ukraine to fire a special prosecutor as part of Biden's anti-corruption around the world sort of campaign. Hey, this prosecutor, we think he's corrupt. You should fire him. One of the things that that prosecutor had once done in the past was investigate a Ukrainian gas company. On the board of that Ukrainian gas company, no allegation that Hunter Biden did anything wrong, but was Hunter Biden. That's a very tenuous link.
Yeah, and by the way, what's Hunter Biden doing on the board of a Ukrainian gas company?
I don't know if you know this, but rich people are on lots of boards all over the world.
Well, I guess
Who knows what he was doing? Maybe things, maybe not. But there's no indication that he personally was. What we've got here is we've got Trump and Rudy Giuliani, who got into a room probably, and they said, let's revive attack Biden. It looked like he's saying, okay, well, Biden's beating me in the polls. I got to come up with a new nickname. Sleepy Joe is not working enough. I need to get Gassy Joe.
Gassy Joe.
We'll go to don't use that, Trump. Right. Don't do it. Copyright it. No.
Got it.
He decided we've got to put some pressure on Gassy Joe, so Trump gets on the call with Ukraine and says, I'm going to withhold $250 million unless you reignite, the gas joke, this debunked investigation. So this is something where Trump and Rudy Giuliani have decided we can go get international assistance in slandering an opponent in order to win a presidential election because we tried it last time and it worked, and we're just going to keep doing it because nobody's going to impeach us. So they're going to do it.
Well, you're spinning a theory, but until we know for sure.
Rudy outdid himself on CNN this week, and I saw this.
Yeah.
I didn't do it.
This was with Chris Cuomo.
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. Because first he said, and it was gotten to a screaming match between the two. And Rudy went totally bananas, even for him.
Just funny because they like each other in real life.
Oh, yeah, they're great friends, yeah.
Really?
No, off the air, they apparently are pretty friendly. This was unpleasant.
I can never tell when you're telling a joke.
No, this is for real. They actually are very civil to each other.
This is the one time he's being serious.
Yeah. So you don't call him Fredo, I think.
Right.
But anyway.
I saw that. That was an awkward
but he said, first he said he had nothing to do with Ukraine, Giuliani, and then 2 seconds later, of course I did.
It was amazing.
Oh, my God.
All right, so let's, since there's only one story, and that's Trump, let's move on to Trump Part B, and that's his taxes. So California passes a law, and it says, sure, you want to run for president, that's fine, but it's really important to let everybody know about your finances. So if you don't release your taxes, you may not be on the ballot, Mr. Trump, and everybody else. So Trump sends his sharp lawyers into court, and he wins this week. There's a judge in Sacramento, federal judge named Morris England, brilliant jurist. I say that because 5 or 10 years ago I was in front of him. I was representing an insurance company trying to get an injunction to stop a bad insurance agent from stealing client information, and the judge granted the injunction. Yay! So I've always known this judge.
So he was a great man, wasn't he?
He's a great man,
yeah.
By practicing lawyers, they always say a brilliant jurist whenever you happen to win. So anyway, he comes along, and Judge England says this week, you know what? Federal government gets to control federal elections. The state of California does not get to come in and say, oh, you want to run for president, a federal office in California, you have to do X, Y, Z. You have to jump through the hoops. I don't know if he's going to win. I mean, the Ninth Circuit has occasionally gone against Trump a couple times.
But he won this one.
You predict the Ninth Circuit's going to reverse this?
I don't predict the Ninth Circuit will reverse. I think that this ruling will stand. I think that it's probably the right ruling. I think this is the wrong way to try to pressure Trump to
what about
release his tax
states' rights when Trump tries to get rid of the California's EPA rules?
You're right.
What about that one?
Right. The environmental regulations and immigration rules. You've got this headbutting.
States' rights. Hey, states' rights.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a lot of consistency there.
Trump voters, they stop caring about states' rights as soon as they can stick it to liberals somehow.
Yeah. So when we come back, Brett Kavanaugh is in the news. Kind of embarrassing for the New York Times. There was a little bit of an oopsie. We'll discuss the details in the Royal Oak Show when we come back. Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show. Is getting a full night's rest a struggle because your sheets won't stay in place? Do your sheets make you hot at night, causing you to toss and turn? I've been there, but not anymore. Thanks to MyPillow's Giza cotton sheets, I'm getting a full night's rest without the hassle of fixing my sheets. Giza cotton sheets by MyPillow are made with the world's best cotton. It's called Giza, G-I-Z-A. It's grown only in a small area near the Mediterranean Sea. Its cotton is so super smooth and breathable, and they're extremely durable, made with deep pockets that'll fit over any bed. And just like those MyPillows we love so much, our Giza sheets are made right here in the USA with 100% machine washable and dryable cotton. Go to MyPillow.com and order your Giza sheets today and receive 30% off and free shipping when you use the promo code WINNER. That's right, free. That's MyPillow.com and promo code WINNER. Get yours today. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code WINNER. Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. You know, we provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right. Watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, CRNTalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at CRNTalk.com. Video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk.
Nobody wants to get ripped off, broken into, or robbed, but nobody wants to pay a lot of money to have their home protected either. I've got an offer to tell you about to provide home security for your home for less than $1 a day. For real, with no installation or equipment charges. And this is from a company rated #1 by a leading consumer research company. According to the facts, most of you won't even call unless there's a burglary in your neighborhood or something bad happened. So let's give you a reason. Save money. For less than $1 a day with no other costs, you can get your home secured. Plus, get a lifetime equipment replacement warranty. You need protection for your home. Call the Home Security Hotline right now.
800-915-8941. 800-915-8941. 800-915-8941. Call right now. Operators are standing by. 800-915-8941.
Legendary food critic Meryl Schindler talks about the Hill Street Cafe in Burbank, California.
The Hill Street Cafe in Burbank, California, 3301 North Glen Oaks Boulevard, open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when I say breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I mean menus that give you everything you can possibly want. I'm looking at the dinner menu here. They got every sort of sandwich and salad. And not only do they have burgers and hot dogs, but they have burgers and hot dogs made with Beyond Meat and Beyond Sausage. They have a fitness menu. They have senior dining. It is a full-service restaurant with a lot of, I should mention, very good beers and wines. And they have a back room that is semi-private, fits up to 50 people. They offer delivery through ChowNow, Grubhub, Postmates, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. They allow filming at the restaurant as well. Parking lot is great, a lot over 60 spots. It's a terrific restaurant, and I love the fact that it's something for everybody. Hill Street Cafe, 3301 North Glen Oaks, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with our co-host Ken Jeffries, our millennial correspondent Connor Oakes. So, Brett Kavanaugh, they just won't leave this guy alone. New York Times this week says Yale undergraduate at a drunken dorm party. When Kavanaugh was a sophomore or something. Kavanaugh had his pants down while friends pushed his genitals into the hands of a female student. The accusation is similar to Deborah Ramirez's assertion last year in The New Yorker about another drunken Yale party. This Yale sounds like a real debauchery type kind of college.
Yeah.
But they say it's very prestigious. So the FBI knew, turns out the FBI knew knew about this.
Max Stier.
But the Times never spoke to the man who made this charge, a guy named Max Stier. And on Monday, 4 days ago, the Times added a humiliating editor's note admitting its story omitted a critical fact. The purported victim declined to be interviewed, and friends say she does not recall such an incident. So it seems like maybe there's more investigation to happen. But it didn't stop the Democrat presidents. Immediately upon hearing the New York Times story, Elizabeth Warren, Kavanaugh should be impeached. Kamala Harris, he must be impeached. Beto O'Rourke, he should be impeached. They're using slightly different words. But I'm getting the gist of it. Julian Castro, he should be impeached. But Bernie, put it differently. Bernie, I support any appropriate constitutional mechanism to hold him accountable. Stop mincing words, Bernie. I want the I word. Say impeachment.
Can I also say that Warren today, I saw this on MSNBC real quick, unless I got it wrong. I don't think I did, that she is now calling for the impeachment of Trump. Which I'm not sure how big a deal that is, because in the wake of the Ukrainian thing.
I'd be surprised if she hasn't in the past. I mean,
but I don't know. But anyway, okay,
I guess the question is: are people ever going to let this poor guy sit down and go to the law library in the Supreme Court and write opinions, or are they just going to keep making accusations?
His life is so difficult. He's on the Supreme Court of the United States. He's one of the 9 most powerful people on the entire planet. Oh, why won't they stop persecuting him while letting him be one of the 9 most powerful people on the planet?
He likes beer.
Yes. He likes beer. This is a guy, look, the people act like, first of all, they throw around the word due process as though this is a criminal conviction. The idea that in what was effectively a job interview for a job that he probably already landed by that point, people brought up the fact that he maybe sexually assaulted people in the past. That's real important, and it should be brought to the fore and talked about. And the fact that the FBI did not do the investigation that they should have done, that Max Stier told the FBI that this had happened during the FBI investigation, and they never called him back, and they never sought a conversation with the woman that it allegedly happened to, even though the parallels to what happened to Debbie Ramirez were so closely, so obvious. And that they never called Max to say, this guy who is very well respected is the word they keep throwing around in the media and everywhere else. Everybody knows Max Stier is totally nonpartisan, plays, for both sides, and is just looking for reform in Washington, and has been a big-time lawyer and is very well respected for years and years, has said, I was there, it happened, I saw it happen, and then turns out the victim of this, what is sexual assault, says that she doesn't want to be interviewed and have what happened to Christine Blasey Ford happen to her. Shocker! That is not, to me, embarrassing. The fact that they added in there's no disclarification, I think good on them for that. And maybe you're right, that should have been in the original article. But I don't think that it undermines the new accusations against Kavanaugh. I think what people are really pointing to more even than that is that a couple of these Democratic presidential candidates had, pinned tweets like Kamala Harris talking about how he should be impeached, and they went out and made big, bold statements at the beginning of the week. And then, shocker, the Ukraine story with Trump happened. And then, shocker, people didn't really care about the Kavanaugh thing because, as you have described previously,
it's like one thing on top of the other. It's so crazy now.
You're telling me men lie about sex. Oh, I don't get. We basically don't hold men, especially white men, especially old, white, powerful, rich men, accountable when they lie about sex. And this is just another instance of that, right? It doesn't mean that it should be that way, but it is that way.
So men lie about placing their genitals into the hands of a female student too, I guess. I guess that falls under the umbrella of sex. So what about the political angle? Some people say the Democrats shouldn't push impeachment because they'll probably fall short and it'll embolden the Republicans. Is it similar with Kavanaugh? Should the Democrats keep going after Kavanaugh and dredging up allegations, or should they say, it's just going to really assist the right because they're going to be more energized than the left is about attacks on Kavanaugh?
Why would the Democrats listen to the Republicans who are telling them, don't do this, it will only make us stronger? When has your political opponent ever been honest about what you should and shouldn't do? Don't take the Democrats.
Don't poke the bear, it'll just make him mad.
I'm the bear. And Obama won his second time, and the Republicans seemed really down. Like Romney had a real shot at it. The Democrats said, you guys just don't get it. Read the demographics. You're going to be extinct like the dinosaurs. You've got to move left. You've got to be inclusive. Bigger tent. Immigrants.
What happened to that?
Move left.
So they were dead wrong.
Why were the Democrats giving advice to the Republicans?
Well, it's because they were doing it in bad faith, because that's what they want the world to be like. They want the world to be
How would you like to be the Republican operative who wrote that memo, by the way?
You want the world to be left, more progressive. You want the Republicans to come to the table table and negotiate with them.
And similarly, the Republicans want to lay off Kavanaugh and lay off impeachment.
Don't impeach our president.
You're right.
You're right.
What is this week going to bring now?
Oh, my God.
By the way, you mentioned at the beginning, and maybe we're still not there yet, what you think is going to happen with all this Trump-Ukraine stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to save it to the end of the show?
I was kidding. I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. I'm not Nostradamus. My crystal ball here is very murky.
You're Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Let's go to the left coast. I'm super chicken. At least I'm super chicken. Let's go to the left coast because Oregon may be nuts. When you go into civil court and you have a jury trial, all you need is 9 out of 12 usually to win. But if you're in a criminal case, you need a unanimous verdict, either to win or lose. If the prosecution has 11 guilty and 1 not guilty, it's over.
Have you seen 12 Angry Men? One angry man.
One angry man was
Jack Fonda and Lee J. Cobb.
Lee J. Cobb was always angry.
And E.G. Marshall. So now Oregon says we don't really think we need a unanimous jury verdict in a criminal case. We'd like just a solid majority of it, 11-1 or 10-2. Oregon's the only state in America allowing 11-1 or 10-2 jury verdicts in criminal trials.
That's a recent,
except for first-degree murder conviction.
That's a recent change. Until 2018, Louisiana, who's always had their own ideas about what the law should look like. They've got
lynching people.
Well, sure, yeah, but Louisiana has used the civil law system being handed down by its legacy as a French colony, as opposed to our
Napoleonic code.
Exactly, the Napoleonic code. So they do things a little bit differently, and they're a little bit
plus
wacky.
They got parishes instead of counties.
A lot of wacky stuff happening down there. So until 2018,
weird, wild stuff.
Until 2018, Louisiana followed an 1880 law that said you don't need unanimous verdicts in criminal juries, and then eventually, in 2018, finally, about 138 years later, they changed their mind and said, you know what, let's get with the times. Criminal juries should have unanimous verdicts to convict.
So in the Oregon case,
so Oregon's the only state left.
Is it 10-2? I mean, what, 11-1 or 10-2?
The LA Times says 11-1 or 10-2. So I don't know if they flip back and forth or if they've changed. But either way, they do not require a unanimous verdict in criminal cases. But here's the interesting thing: they're challenging it. They're going to take it up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and it's possible that the High Court will say, you know what? That 10-1, 11-2, all those people convicted, that was not fair.
It's going to be a wild series of...
that'll be a 5-4 decision, right? 5-4 decision?
5-4 decision saying a 10-2 criminal conviction was unconstitutional. Therefore, hundreds or thousands of criminals who are rotting on, not death row, but in prison, rotting because of the terrible conditions.
You're absolutely right. This is a law.
They're going to be able to say, okay, I want another trial, and unless you can get a unanimous verdict, I'm not going back to prison.
Based on evidence from 60, 70 years ago. This is, 90 theoretically, because the Oregon law that made juries not need to be unanimous in criminal trials was passed in 1934, which means
all these criminals could be sprung.
They could be sprung. They could theoretically. 1934, and then in 1972, the Oregon Supreme Court affirmed that this was constitutional. So the Oregon Supreme Court has already weighed in on this, and it took 38 years for them to get from the law being passed in Oregon to the Supreme Court of Oregon making a decision about it, and they said it's okay, it's going to be fine, and that has stood since 72 to now. That's 28 plus 19 is a lot of friggin' years. It's like 50 years.
A lot of friggin' years.
That's illegal.
Want to get out the calculator?
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's like 50 years that the Oregon has been doing this. And 50 years of criminals could be asking for new trials.
It's a real mess. Another mess is the de Blasio campaign. You're talking about Booker thinking about getting out this week.
Yeah, Booker may get out.
New York Mayor de Blasio announced he is out. And you know my reaction to that?
Who?
No! Mr. Mayor, we hardly knew ye. Yeah. Stay in.
You know what's interesting?
Go back on Hannity.
What's interesting about this, the mayor of tiny South Bend, relatively speaking to New York,
Buttigieg,
is still in it and still has a shot, I guess. A better shot than the mayor of the largest city in the country. So you're saying if de Blasio
were gay, perhaps his campaign would have more legs?
Know that's what he's saying.
I'm saying if de Blasio was a better political figure, that he was not...
so you're saying something different.
New York's population actually released a statement, please, Bill, don't come back.
Yeah, no, you know what they did at Gracie? Apparently in front of Gracie Mansion, which is the mayor's residence in New York, some people held up a sign saying, welcome to Iowa. to entice him to come back and take care of New York.
Did you know Gracie Mansion is named after Gracie Allen, George Burns' wife?
It was not.
Oh, you're right.
I love both of those people.
Can you smile when you tell a joke, for God's sake?
How about if
come on.
A halo appears? Oh, it's already there.
It's named after something Gracie. I don't know, but it's not Gracie Allen.
I used to love to watch the Burns and Allen show. I did not watch it when it first ran in 54, 55.
By the way, who's buried in Grant's tomb in New York?
That's a good question.
Okay.
But the fun thing about the Burns and Allen show was that Harry Von Zell, the announcer, played the neighbor. He would come in, and they didn't cut away for commercials. They would be talking in the kitchen with Gracie, and she'd be making a pie. And all of a sudden, Harry Von Zell would pick up a can of Borden's condensed milk and say, this is the creamiest, silkiest condensed milk, Gracie, I've ever seen.
Built-in commercial.
Oh, you're right, Harry. Yeah, they had built-in commercials in the plot. Why don't they do that anymore? Wouldn't that be wonderful? People wouldn't hate the idea of cutting away from
By the way, this water is brought to you by Aquafina.
It's like in the Truman Show when he was unwittingly roped into those commercials, right? He'd just be sitting, he's having an argument with his wife about their marriage is falling apart, and she's, the producer in her ear is going, you got to throw the commercial in, and she picks up some, cleaning product and goes, well, we might not be able to resolve this argument, but this here resolves our
his friend,
problem.
The redheaded guy who always show up with beer. Truman, let's have a burger schlitzer.
And Harry Von Zell,
so smooth.
Yeah, so I bring that up because I think that indicates how audiences really feel about it. It was parodied in the Truman Show because audiences look at that and they go, this is taking me out worse than a commercial break. At least a commercial is honest. Buy my stuff. This feels so fake and painful and jammed up my throat.
Getting back real quick, Harry Von Zell. His most famous thing, he introduced the President of the United States, seriously, as Hubert Heaver.
I know. And that wasn't his name. So that
and
was,
it was FDR, actually. It was
that was the embarrassing part. Let's talk homelessness, guys. Big problem here in Los Angeles. I think it's the way the Republican Party in California can actually get back in the ball game. Essentially, they're extinct because everybody drives around and sees the homeless problem staring them in the face, and they know Democrats are responsible for it.
Well, Trump's going to solve it. He came out here this week. Yeah. He came to Los Angeles this week. He's going to solve it.
Maybe he will. I don't know. A lot of people think that the Democrats are responsible, but here's the news this week. The Board of Supervisors in L.A. County has 5 members. They used to call them the 5 Kings. Well, now I think there are 4 women and 1 man, so they don't call them that anymore. There is 1 right-of-center member, our friend Catherine Barger, and 4 very left-of-center people. Well, there's a 3-2 vote. Janice Hahn, Catherine Barger, and Mark Ridley Thomas voted to support and join the lawsuit that is going up to the U.S. Supreme Court mainly, possibly. And the lawsuit says, look, there is a court case that said we can't shoo people off of the streets.
Right.
For years and years, we had a law, you may not sleep on the streets. Right. Sorry, but you can't, it's illegal. Now, you may sleep on the streets. Why? Because a few years ago, the court said, well, if we don't have enough shelters, where are these folks going to be? Right. You don't provide shelters, therefore they may sleep on the streets. There is a suit to challenge that, and the Board of Supervisors, the LA County is officially on board with that. And it's going to come to a head, and with the conservative majority on the U.S. Supreme Court, the city of Boise is advancing their suit. We may get a change of the situation.
Yeah, we may well. I mean, a lot of people have said that the problem has existed previously and that this change in the law that prevented the criminalization of sleeping on the street for those who had effectively no other option because there weren't shelters was just bringing it into sharp relief. And so the question really in people's minds is, well, first of all, who can we blame? Who can we turn this in and say whose fault is it? Well, the Democrats have been in control of basically everything in California for a darn long time. So if you're going to blame somebody, you probably blame the people in power. So I understand why people are blaming the Democrats because they're the ones in power. But it's not like the Republicans have a solution. It's not like anybody has
let's build more shelters.
Exactly.
I mean, if you don't have jail cells.
There's going to be one built here in Chatsworth, in California.
The problem is, of course, NIMBYism.
Of course, NIMBYism is all over the place.
It's constantly a not in my backyard situation. Everybody says build more shelters.
They're going to put one up here.
Then, are you okay with them putting a shelter?
Thank God, Connor explained when he said NIMBY. What is he talking NIMBY? And then he said not in my backyard. So now I know what he meant by NIMBYism. Go ahead.
Would you be okay with them putting a homeless shelter down the street from your home? Most people say no. And that,
Beto
unfortunately,
O'Rourke says rich people should have to live next door to poor people.
Yeah, and that's
got to expand their
and without
horizons.
their AR-15s.
I mean, and without their machine guns. Exactly.
It's kind of like people have talked about how there's this unresolved issue about busing is a great example.
Yeah.
Busing and current school integration. Schools are now, today, 2019, more segregated by race than they were when the Brown versus Board of Education opinion
then
came
how come
down.
busing isn't such a big deal anymore?
Because it was never really resolved whether people were even a little bit okay with busing children in order to solve a bigger, larger societal problem that we have having to do with school segregation. School segregation is a result of the fact that kids go to school where they live. And individuals segregate themselves by economics, unfortunately.
Now you got charter schools, too, and it's the rise of that, which
generally exacerbate the same problem.
It's a whole other ball of wax.
Well, everybody has the same problem, NIMBYism and segregation.
The solution to the problem is build shelters for
more money.
So they're not
throw
on
money
the
at the
street.
problem.
If we don't have enough jail cells, do you let criminals on the street? Oh, Mr. Murderer, I'm sorry we don't have any room. We're going to let you out. No, you don't do that. Oh, wait, that's exactly what we did do. We downgraded felonies to misdemeanors, and we let people out early because we didn't have enough room to humanely house our prisoners. Well, how about stopping the wasting of all the money we spend on crap and build some shelters and build some jails so the homeless can sleep.
Let's do it.
And the criminals can stay in prison. What a concept.
Love it.
When we come back,
glad you solved
an emotional support clown, believe it or not. Stick with us.
We'll be back on CRN with the Royal Oak Show.
This is the entertainment answer. What highest-rated TV show is now in theaters? You guessed it, Downton Abbey.
The King and Queen are coming to Downton.
What?
The television series, which followed the lives of the Crawley family and the servants who worked for them, ran for 6 seasons, garnered 69 Emmy nominations in total, and arguably it was one of my family's favorite. Again, look for Downton Abbey, rated PG, headed to theaters. And of course, more information can be found at theentertainmentanswer.com.
Picture yourself and your loved one saying, I do, with a stunning sunset behind you and the sound of the waves gently lapping the shore. We can make that dream wedding come true. Ka'anapali Beach Hotel offers oceanfront and ocean view venues for a perfect backdrop to all your wedding memories. Choose from our wedding and vow renewal packages or let us customize a ceremony just for you. Call 661-0011 or visit ka'anapaliweddings.com and let us help you create that once-in-a-lifetime occasion.
How would you like to save up to $500 on your next vacation package? Any vacation package anywhere in the world. Just call Superior Travel and mention the code RADIO and save up to $500. We'll design a custom, fantastic vacation just for you with all the bells and whistles. Not some cookie-cutter vacation, but a unique, all-included vacation customized by one of our exclusive travel experts. And our service is completely free. You pay nothing more. So why waste your time? Let us do it for you. We've got over 100 years of travel experience to help create the perfect trip for you. Call now and learn how to save up to $500 on your next custom vacation. Pick up the phone, call Superior Travel, and use the code word RADIO.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was a location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties like veal, marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Welcome back to the Royal Oak Show with Carly Rae Jepsen. I mean, with our
Carly Rae Jepsen
co-host Ken
Honestly,
Jeffrey.
who's more
Call me
important to the
maybe.
show,
And our
frankly,
millennial correspondent,
it's Carly
That's
Rae.
what we're listening to, guys.
Yeah.
It's Carly Rae Jepsen. It was the hit of the summer about
Every
3 years
episode,
ago.
Speaking of
comes
famous
back.
singers,
Almost.
though, we have one listening, watching us right now.
Really?
Shout out to
Melissa Manchester.
Yes, Melissa, thank you for
She's a friend of the
watching.
show. We appreciate
Incredible
it.
career. And
I think
to
she
take time out to watch Little Old Us, that's pretty amazing.
I think, and I'm going to take a guess here, one of her big hits was Midnight Blue, and I just don't remember
had
anymore,
a
and I'm
lot of
sorry.
fabulous
Sorry,
hits.
Melissa.
Thank you
She's
for
a very
watching,
nice, she's a
Melissa.
lovely woman. Lovely and
So
a great
I think
singer.
we're really getting somewhere.
Emotional support
and
animals,
go see her when
guys.
she sings around, when she sings. Go see her.
So emotional. We have a lot of fun with emotional support animals. We've made fun of the emotional support miniature horses that created a slip and slide in the aisle of first class on an airplane. And I won't describe what was the slip and slide source, but you get it. There
Horses
was
produce a lot.
an emotional
Even a
support
mini
monkey
horse.
that had an emotional support parrot on the monkey's shoulder. I thought that was a special
that was pretty good.
But here we have an emotional support clown.
Right.
A New Zealand man, Joshua Jack, he is told by his bosses at the ad agency where he's working, we got a big meeting coming up, and he had an idea that he was going to be fired. And so they said, you can bring somebody with you to, experience the situation if you want some support. He brings an emotional support clown. He hires a guy
I read
for
about that.
$200.
That's pretty
and he
good.
said, I thought it's either a promotion or worse. I thought it was best to bring in a professional, so I paid $200 and hired a clown. So the clown sits there and he mimes crying, when the bad news is being delivered. He uses balloons to create a unicorn.
What's this guy's name? The guy who did this?
Joshua Jack was the guy being fired.
I feel like I might want to follow this guy on Twitter. I feel like this guy might be a good time.
He sounds great, doesn't
It might be
he?
a good time. I'm going to look him up.
Yeah.
That guy's great. I love it.
Joshua Jack.
Don't tell me this is the moron of the month.
No.
Or the moron of the week.
Yeah,
No.
we're going to resume that next week.
Good.
So
I was
we've
going to
had
say, this guy's great.
peacocks, ducks, squirrels have caused headaches for U.S. airlines. It is not clear where the airlines might stand on clowns. But, it would be a fun way to get your friend to ride for free. I'm buying one seat.
Right.
But my emotional support clown is going to be with me, and he's not going to pay any more than the monkey or the parrot.
His name is Fred Bozo, if I recall.
So how could the airline say no to Chuckles the clown sitting next to you? Free trip.
This is my emotional support wife and kids, and my emotional support carry-on, emotional support check.
So therefore,
bag
they should
number
all
one,
ride free.
emotional support check bag number
wife.
two.
That's brilliant. I'm going to use that next time we go on vacation. My wife and kids and I go on vacation, which is, or just my wife and I. This is my emotional support wife.
Why not?
And get her.
Give it a try. The airlines get in major trouble if they make the wrong call and
Really?
say no to
Therefore,
somebody.
she should ride free.
Why not?
She might call me the emotional support husband. And
I just have to figure out. I don't have a wife or kids or anybody else that I care enough
But you
about
can
to
rent
actually
them,
want to
can't you?
bring on a trip. So I just got to figure out a way somehow to navigate to be my own emotional support person,
Or
so that
emotional
I am free.
Emotional support dad, I think, would probably
Yeah,
work,
okay, you
too.
can come along too.
So Stormy Daniels is running for president, guys.
Thank goodness.
Let's have a coffee for her,
Finally.
or a Chivas Regal or something. She actually says she's only running if Michael Avenatti, she no longer likes, she fired him as lawyer. He keeps toying with running for president, even though he's got a few legal troubles. And she said, if he runs, I'm going to run just so I can start a GoFundMe for the sheer purpose of making smear campaign videos against him, just for fun. I bet people would actually be into it.
Yeah, I think they might split the crazy person vote, unfortunately.
Perhaps. I just think it's nice that Stormy's back in the news.
Yeah, I missed her.
thanks for
What
keeping
about
your-
AOC?
keeping this impressive.
AOC was on Time Magazine's cover. All anybody talked about for weeks was AOC. How come we don't hear about her
think she's
anymore?
35
I
years
think the
old.
rest of the squad has eclipsed her.
The squad.
And you're not supposed to look at the sun during an eclipse
True.
unless you're the president.
Yeah, we got 6 more years before AOC can run for president, so we're safe. In 6 years, she'll be back.
So our final story is about Wisconsin. They have made it illegal to serve margarine at restaurants unless customers explicitly ask for it. You go to jail for 3 months if you offer margarine without being asked for it. Now, why would Wisconsin do that? I can't figure that out.
Cheese capital.
I'm going to spend the next week thinking about it. Have a great week, folks. See you next time on the Royal Oak Show.
Which was most appropriate because that was your theme.
Are you tired of hearing your favorite talk radio show sound like this?
What if you could hear your favorite shows in crystal clear, high-definition digital sound? Well, with CRN Digital Talk Radio's 6 channels of high-definition radio, you can now hear all of your favorite hosts like you've never heard them before in CRN HD. The difference is amazing. Catch your favorite political hosts like Dennis Prager, Tom Hartman, Barry Farber, and so many more. Entertainment and lifestyle programming